Hey, what is up, guys, and welcome back to the SS Football channel. And today we are back with a match preview, or the match preview, for the second leg in the Manchester United versus Real Betis Europa League. Is it round of 16? Quarter-final? I want to say quarter-final. Let me double check that. I think it's quarter-final. Round of 16. That's a bit embarrassing. Anyway, we do have a watch song for it. Obviously, that'll be tomorrow evening. The stream will start at about 5:20. Kick-off 5:45. So please do tune in for that. Hopefully, United will kind of see the leg. See the tie. We'll get it over the line, essentially. And we can get into the quarter-final. And hopefully go on to win the actual tournament, because let's be real, we should be winning this Europa League, shouldn't we? When it comes to coming into this game and form-wise, Manchester United, we drew our last game 0-0 to Southampton. Obviously, Casemiro got sent off, in the first half. Wasn't Manchester United's greatest performance of the season. I don't think many players can really leave that game with any sort of I think what the word would be. They can't. None of them players can be happy with their performances. I think generally everyone kind of played badly in that game, which was a real shame. But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. We've certainly played a lot worse in games in weeks and years gone by. So as it goes, while it could have been a lot better, it could have been a lot worse as well. Obviously, like I said, or like I've mentioned, this is the second leg of our Europa League tie against Real Betis. First one, we won very convincingly, 4-1. Betis never really put up much of a challenge. Rashford scored early on, kind of to set the pace for what would be a demolition job, really, come the end of the game. After what was a horrific 7-0 defeat to Liverpool the weekend before. Jose Perez scored a very good volley on just past the half-hour mark. Great volley across from Manchester United's left-hand side, or Betis' right, into that far post. Question marks over David De Gea, potentially. Should he have done more? Should he have saved it? I'll leave that up to you guys to kind of debate upon yourselves. Before, in the second half, we put on a show. Anthony, with an incredible left-footed finish, just cuts in from the right, bends it into that top far top corner. Unbelievable finish from the Brazilian, which gave Manchester United the lead. And then from that point on, it was all kind of one way. 6 minutes later, Bruno Fernandes scored a great, I believe it was a front post header. Luke Shaw delivery. Just a flicked header from Bruno Fernandes. No one near him. Great header. 3-1. And that would have seen the tie done for me. But come the end of the game, Weghorst taps in an absolute sitter from a rebound to make it 4-1. You could see all the emotion in his celebration. And that's how the game finished. 4-1. And look, while it was 4-1, it could have been a lot more. It really could have been a lot more. Manchester United had chances, and a lot of chances, to score even more goals than the 4 we got. There's a picture of Erik ten Hag actually saying to his players, we can get another 3 here. We can get more goals. Which shows the quality that Manchester United really showed in that last game, and kind of shows the gulf in quality between these two sides. When it comes to team news, this is for Real Betis. So Luis Felipe, obviously his centre-back, started in the last game for Betis. He's out with a hamstring injury, while Nabil Fekir, probably their best player, is out with an ACL injury. Another knee injury for Nabil Fekir. It doesn't really come as any sort of surprise to anyone anymore, does it, that Fekir gets knee injuries. That's the reported reason why he failed in medical for a move to Liverpool. and why he's probably at Betis now as opposed to one of the great clubs in world football, or at least one of the bigger sides. Maybe we're not talking Barcelona's, the Real Madrids, but even like a Borussia Dortmund. Real Betis is that step below. They're a team that are always aiming for the Europa League, where realistically Fekir, he's a Champions League level player for me. When it comes to Manchester United's team news, this is how we kind of stack up. Anthony Martial, he is back in training and has been for a couple of weeks now. However, we're not sure if he's going to be available for the game. Garnacho obviously is out for a couple of weeks with an ankle injury after that Kyle Walker-Peters challenge. It was a fair challenge, but kind of the scissoring action at the end of the challenge after Kyle Walker-Peters won the ball has kind of injured Garnacho's ankle. So he is out. I'm really kind of holding back, kind of trying to make a point about the Casemiro challenge in that game, but I won't. Victor Lindelof and Marcel Sabitzer, how fit they are for this game is an unknown. As you can see in this screen, both of those both players are travelling. Anthony Martial isn't. So when you look at the travelling squad, you got David De Gea, Jack Butland, and Tom Heaton as our goalkeepers. Diogo Dalot, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 2 right backs. Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Rafael Varane, and Lisandro Martinez are our 4 centre halves, with Tyrell Malacia and Luke Shaw making up the 2 left backs and completing the defence. Midfield wise, we've got Casemiro, Fred, Scott McTominay, Marcel Sabitzer, and Bruno Fernandes all travelling. While in the forward line, we've got Anthony Elanga, Palestri, Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, and Wout Weghorst. So we've got a strong lineup. Obviously, like I said, Anthony Martial, while he has been training with the first team again, after he's recovering from that, I believe is it a thigh injury, a groin injury, one of the two. While he has been training, he hasn't travelled today, so won't be part of the squad, of course. And to me, that kind of tells me what I imagined was the case anyway. With Erik ten Hag, I believe he has rushed Martial back from injury because we didn't have Weghorst. So whenever he was fit, we wanted to play him because Cristiano Ronaldo was just an absolute nightmare. And when it comes to Marcus Rashford, he's best on the left. You had Jadon Sancho and his issues, so he won in the squad. He won. Able to play. Darwin Núñez is in for Liverpool. Straight at Thibaut Courtois. Great chance there for Liverpool straight away. After some awful defending by Antonio Rudiger. But going back to Martial, I generally do just think Anthony Martial has been rushed back because of Manchester United's lack of forward options. And now we've got Weghorst. It's about trying to bring him back slowly and making sure when he is brought back into the first team and he is playing games for Manchester United, he is fully fit. Meaning that he won't get injured again straight away, because that's kind of been the issue with Anthony Martial. I think we can all recognise how good of a player he is, but he can't seemingly play more than 2 games in a row without getting injured. And that's something that hopefully will change with the new approach to bringing Martial back from injury. When it comes to the team, I believe Erik ten Hag will go with in this game. I think he will go full strength. I think Erik ten Hag has proven over his time at Manchester United that he isn't a manager that likes to rotate much. There's been so many games, I think back to potentially Reading in the FA Cup, where we could have rotated. We should have rotated, in my opinion. But we didn't. We started full strength. And while we got the job done in those games, it has cost us. Eriksen getting injured, for example. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Erik ten Hag go full strength, which would be David De Gea in goal. It will either be Diogo Dalot or Aaron Wan-Bissaka. At the moment, I have a feeling Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the first choice right back. So that's why I've stuck him in there. Whether or not that will remain the case for the rest of the season, or that actually is the case, we'll have to wait and find out. Then I think he'll go Varane and Alessandro Martinez with Luke Shaw. Casemiro will miss the next 4 Premier League and, well, domestic games, as Karim Benzema has it for Real Madrid, out to Vinicius Jr., to Cruz, to Benzema, the ball's just behind Benzema. 10 minutes played. The Real Madrid-Liverpool game is hotting up. Casemiro, yeah, he's missing the next 4 domestic games due to suspension, but he is available for this game, so he has to play for me. I think he'll then go with Fred, Anthony, Bruno, Rashford, and then Weghorst as a front 4. Kind of straightforward. There's not really much to talk about when it comes to that Manchester United front 4 starting lineup. My lineup, however, I have rotated pretty much a full rotated side. The Hayes stays. I will then go for a back 4 of Diego Dallo, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, and Tyrone Malacia. They've all played a part in this season. None of them are bad players. While they're not on the levels of Alessandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, Luke Shaw, and obviously Diego Dallo and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That's a hotly fought competition at right back. None of them are bad defenders or bad players in their own right. And I think, look, we've seen Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof as a centre-back partnership get us to Europa League finals, to Europa League semi-finals. They should be enough to see us through a game in which we've got a 3-goal advantage in. And especially with Tyrone Malacia and Diego Dallo as your fullbacks, I think you should be just fine defensively and going forward, especially when you've got Casemiro and McTominay in front of you. Now, is McTominay unbelievable? No. Look, everyone knows who's been here for a while. I'm not the biggest fan of Scott McTominay. But I think he played well against Southampton when he came on as a sub to replace Casemiro after he got sent off. Generally, I think he's done all right. And for me, it's more of a case of resting Marcel Sabitzer, making sure when he comes back in the Premier League, he's fully fit, and resting Fred, because I think that will be the double pivot for the Fulham game on the weekend in the FA Cup, for Everton, for Newcastle. Is it Newcastle we've got? Whoever the next 4 domestic games are. So I think it's important to rest those, which means Scott McTominay will get his opportunity to play in this game. We've then a front 4 of it's inexperience. Palestri, Sancho, Alanga, and Weghorst. But look, these players have all played in big games. Great shot there from Cruz, straight into Alisson's hands though. Palestri came on against Betis in the last leg, got an assist. Sancho has obviously played in the Champions League for Real Madrid, for Dortmund and Manchester United. Alanga's done the same, but not for Dortmund. These players have played big roles in this season for Manchester United, Alanga and Sancho. Alanga and Sancho both started in Manchester United's win over Liverpool at Old Trafford. At the end of the day, these players are good footballers. They're good players. While they're not, again, at the standard of a Bruno Fernandes, a Marcus Rashford, they are very good players. And they're good enough to do a job in this game. And Weghorst obviously kind of has to start up top due to a lack of options in that striker department, given Anthony Martial is still out injured. But for me, that team is, while it's rotated and allows us to perform and play our best 11 on Sunday, it's also a good enough team to not necessarily win, but to see this result and this tie over the line. And that, for me, is what is important about this game. I don't care whether we win, lose, or draw this game. As long as come the end of the game, under the 90, on aggregate, in the top corner, it says Manchester United, let's say 4, Real Betis 3. I'm absolutely happy. I'm delighted. This game for me isn't about winning necessarily. It's about seeing the tie over. Get through, rotate if we can, so we have our best 11 for the quarterfinal in the FA Cup. Get ourselves another day at Wembley against hopefully a championship club. And then get ourselves to a final. As Karim Benzema's in here for Liverpool, for Real Madrid, and he's absolutely fucked it. He's absolutely fucked it. What a chance for Real Madrid and Karim Benzema. And it's an opportunity that goes to waste. Vinicius Jr. found a great run from Benzema. It's a bad first touch, an even worse second. And in the end, it's Cody Gakpo on the recovery with a challenge. And it's a corner for Real Madrid. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on this game. When it comes to a prediction, it is tough to call because the two teams that and what a chance for Vinicius Jr. and what a save by Alisson Becker. Rudiger from the corner heads it back across goal to the back post, where Vinicius Jr. is there from 2 yards out, 3 yards out. You want to say, meets the volley, and somehow Alisson gets his arm in the way and pushes it away. Great save by Alisson Becker. But yeah, so the sheer difference in quality and personnel in these two lineups makes it hard for me to kind of call a prediction. But I'm gonna go, given that I think we will play quite a strong lineup, and I think I even think that lineup in within itself is good enough to win the game. It will be a hard-fought game, don't get me wrong. It wouldn't be an easy win. I think it's good enough to win the game. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 Manchester United win in this second leg. So that would see us winning 5-1 on aggregate. There's my prediction. But look, that is going to be it from me today. If you have enjoyed, please do hit that like button below. Subscribe if you are new and you haven't already. That would be greatly appreciated. We will be watching the game here on the channel. Matchday Live. Just a new name for the watch-alongs. Just sounds a little bit more official or whatever. So please do tune in for that. Link is in the description down below. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one in a bit. Peace.